You're now tuned into Kofi's universe, since you're just sitting on Uranus. This is the #1 YouTube channel for hip-hop culture news, informed black social issues, song reaction videos, and even comedy. So be sure to like this post, and if you haven't already subscribed, do so right about now. Brasscast.
YouTube salute. Antonio Brown says there is no racism in America during recent podcast appearance. Let's talk about it. If you're new to my channel, thumbs up the video, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. Please check out the Hard Part 5 reaction review in the US reaction playlist. Let's listen to this audio from Antonio Brown.
You don't have to have self-pity or be a mentality of being victimized. There's no racism. You can do what you want in America and the world. Only you could breathe for yourself, and only you can see with your own eyes. So it's up to what you want. I made $100 million in football contracts.
All right, so you heard him. If you didn't hear him, I repeated what he said. You don't have to have self-pity. There is no racism. You can do what you want in America. To further drive home his point, he used the fact that he received a $100 million football contract as proof that racism is a thing of the past. All right, so we're going to talk about this situation. So when we think of racism, think about everything I put on the little thumbnail. We have hate crime, schools, the court system, surveillance, healthcare, education, diversity, housing, workplace, criminal justice system, political power, the wealth gap, police state, ingrained, social. So many things, so many factors. Now, I want to get to something. If there was no such thing as racism, okay, Mike Vick, right? Let's take the football for a second. Didn't Mike Vick go to jail for the dogs, the pit bulls, right? I'm not saying that was right. And he went to the feds. Look what happened to Ben Roethlisberger. Those two women. You know what I'm talking about. He didn't go to jail. He didn't do no time. And those was human beings. So that just tells you right there how they feel, who they're going to favor anyway. So in this situation, look what Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick had a peaceful protest. You know, all he did was take a knee. And they blackballed him out the NFL, and he had a bigger contract than Antonio Brown. So what that mean? You know, and last time I remember Antonio Brown, you got kicked off a team. You got kicked off a team. So regardless of that contract or not, that don't mean nothing. You just talking that talk all because you feel like your money makes you feel like you're different and separate, but that's not true. So one person doesn't speak to a whole. So in African Americans, the population is 13%. It could be more now. The wealth is only 2.6%. The population for whites is 77%, and they have 90% wealth in America. Imagine that. African Americans are 2 times as likely to be unemployed. When it comes to education, black students are 3 times more likely than white students to be suspended for the same infractions. And that's true. That's true. Black children constitute 18% of preschoolers nationwide. They make up nearly 50% of the suspensions. You see all this stuff going on? And black children are in the criminal justice system. They are 18 times more likely than white children to be sentenced as adults. As adults. Black people are convicted. They are about 20% more likely to be sentenced to jail time and typically see sentences 20% longer than those for whites who are convicted of similar crimes. There's no racism in America. When it comes to housing, blacks are shown 80% fewer homes and 4% fewer rental units than whites. Redlining happened in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Think about that. Think about that. In the Great Recession, banks routinely and purposely guided black homebuyers toward subprime loans. There was a recent study demonstrated that people of color are told about and shown fewer homes and apartments than whites. Black ownership is now at an all-time low, 42% compared to 70% of whites. No racism in America? I can keep going on. Black drivers are 30% more likely to be pulled over. The surveillance. by the police state. The healthcare. One study found that 67% of doctors have a bias against African American patients. That's why black people don't like going to the hospital. The economic inequality, it's so many things. I mean, there's just so many aspects to racism. And if you don't want to believe me, you can read Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, the ISIS papers. Start off right there. Read Claude Anderson, Black Labor, White Wealth. We can go on and on and on about this. Like I said, I just wanted to throw this out there. But when I hear a person like that say there's no racism in America, because they feel like they got their check. They feel like, oh, I made it and I'm better than him, but he can still be pulled over. Listen to that song by Ja Rule on his first studio album that came out in 1999. You're going to always be a nigga for life to these white people out here. They don't respect you, because racism has nothing to do with an individual hating you. Racism is prejudice plus power. It's more of who's controlling. It's a group. It's a group of people actually putting things in position, the position of power. So when it comes to politics, if they feel like we're going to move this way and do what we need to do, that's racism. Black people don't have enough power to go get a white person fired from their job, or to actually do certain things when it comes to, oh, you can't live in my neighborhood. Think about gentrification. Also think about this. You might think, well, I'm a black player. Majority of the players in the NFL are black. Okay, and the NFL is just a slave auction like they did back in the day when they put Africans on the auction block and they sold them. This is the same thing. That's why the NFL draft, the first pick in the draft, and they're young, coming out there putting that hat on. Yeah, they'll give them their money, but you know what? Them multi-billionaires are going to get paid off. Post your comments below. Hulk smash Black Panther, the like button, subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. If you want to support and donate to the channel, I have Patreon, patreon.com/KofiUniverse. Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Streamlabs, everything's in the description. Until next time, salute.